Hi, I'm Shireen Nemnich, and I'm the author of The Royal Assassin, Shadows of Mist. This video is basically a small story of a background about the Royal Assassin. So, I will begin with um, the Royal Assassin, how that came to be. Is I was actually writing another story that came to me, and it was called The Forgotten Assassin, and that was really about Shadowin. And Shadowin is a main character in all of the Shadows of Mist. So she's in the Royal Assassin. So it began. I was writing her story, and her story takes place around 1,000 years after um, the Royal Assassin. And so it's her story, and it takes about place about 1,000 years after. And remember, they're all magical, and I've been writing this story about her and how she is in Volantis, that she goes to visit the king, and all these things are going on, and she's got her lover with her, and and it was all about her. And I keep mentioning periods throughout the book um, about Reese, the royal assassin. And I mentioned him, but he's gone. He's dead. And he was her consort, and he was horrible. He was absolutely horrible to her, and everybody hates the royal assassin. Everyone hates Reese, and, they say he was the worst for her and all this kind of stuff. And I'm writing that, and it was going along. And mind you, I was at work too, because at the time I was working as a nurse, and I was doing meds. I worked in the evening. And sometimes when I'm working or when I'm very inspired in writing, I hear dialogue all the time. And I hear it, I see it, and then I'll write bits of it down. And this is what was going on. But this particular moment, it was late at night. I was getting ready to go home. I just had to go back to the desk after passing meds and get some medicine out. But I had dialogue going back and forth through my head, and I'm about to introduce Reese. So, in this whole time in the Forgotten Assassin, I'm telling Shadowwind's story, and I'm saying all this stuff about Reese and the Royal Assassin, how terrible who he is, and he was all over her, and now he's been gone all this time, and now he's going to be back. He's like dead and thought he's dead, forgotten, and he's going to come back, and he's going to be terrible, and I'm just like all this stuff in it, and as soon as and so this is going through my head, and it just felt kind of odd. So I get home and I start writing. Actually, I think I was typing that time. No, I was writing by hand. Excuse me. So I was writing, and all of a sudden, I hear his voice in my head, and he says, and this is, I'm not lying. This is what he said. Uh, Excuse me. I'm not the bad guy. I'm actually the good guy. And I went, what? And he said, yeah, I'm the good guy. Not only am I the good guy, I'm the best guy there ever was. And I went, huh. And next thing I know, I'm writing. And I'm writing. So I'm writing this introduction, how he's showing up, and this love, this devotion, all this to Shadowin, and writing all this, and how everybody thinks he's evil, and everybody's trying to kill him, and he's not. And it's only Shadowin who knows in that moment. And as I wrote, and I think I wrote like 10 pages, and he's telling me what a good guy is. And next thing I know, I have to tell his story. And so I ended up setting that aside, and I started writing Reese's story. And he just kept talking to me, telling me how great he was and how he loved Shadowin and how they met. And I just kept writing like a crazy person. And I would think it was like 2 days. I wrote 45 pages. Now, in that 45 pages about Reese, it was his backstory with Shadowin. I started writing, and I wrote from front, the very first page of him, all the way through. I did not skip. Sometimes a scene will come to you and you write that scene because that's there. With him, it just went in order, and I just wrote. And then after I wrote something like 6, 7 chapters, I ended up going back and just rewriting some of the things, getting it a little better. But it's interesting to know that I started one book, but he was talking in my head, and he totally turned the tables on me. And that to me was true inspiration. So I hope I didn't give anything away. Other than the Royal Assassin began with the Forgotten Assassin, which has not been published yet. That will be in the near future. I will be working on that. But Reese and Shadowwind's story is in the Royal Assassin. Shadows of Myths, and I hope you will take time and get that story and read that. I will have some more tidbits coming soon about the background of what's going on in my stories. So thank you for watching.